this list because of Bo Bichette and because he led the league in hits last year, like, well, does he have a shot? Bo Bichette has 303 hits on his career right now, but there hasn't been a lot of those hits coming this season.
Yeah.
Right now, Bo Bichette, Bobo go boom boom, what we always love to say. There's not been a lot of boom boom in Bo Bichette's swing right now. A 219 batting average, a 242 on base percentage, a 297 slugging. That's like not very good. All good for an OPS of 539, only one home run and one stolen bag, and like very little to speak of as far as like production goes, which is kind of crazy because he actually leads the American League in ABs.
That's incredible.
You know,
the reason why is because he's not taking many walks.
No.
Like, he took his first 2 walks this week, guys.
Yeah.
His first 2. He had no walks coming into this week where we face Boston and Houston.
Yeah.
That's why he's not getting it. That's why he's got so many hits, like we said. But like you're saying, this guy's absolutely struggling right now.
Yeah.
And what do you think that, like, Charlie Montoya or the hitting coach, like, or even the defensive coach Luis Rivera, what do they need to do with Bo Bichette now that he's struggling? He made an error today.
Yeah.
Put a little cherry on top of this.
Yes.
He made an error today. He made 3 errors this week. Not looking as confident, looking like he's in his head.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is that we need to start working ourselves into hitter-friendly counts. I was reading a great article about Bo Bichette. I'm sorry I did not write down who it is that I could shout out. But basically, when he was at 54 ABs, he's roughly 10 more than that right now, at 54 at-bats, he had not had a single 3-0 count or a single 3-1 count.
Wow.
He had not had that one time in the entire season. I think he's got 1 or 2 of them at this point now. But that's just not good enough. Like, obviously, it's going to be really hard for you to get hits and to get on base when you keep going down 0-1, 0-2. Like, it's hard to battle your way back in that. So I think Bo Bichette needs to start working himself into hitter-friendly counts, maybe taking a few more pitches off the top, and then seeing if we can work some magic when it's 1-1, 2-1, whatever.
We got to ask the question, though, right? I mean, we saw it today. Maybe there's some recency bias in this, but, like, what are the pitchers doing to Bo Bichette? They're throwing him first pitch strikes, fastballs, right there. Like, and granted, some of them are pretty competitive. They're on the edges, but they are throwing them right there. And yeah, I mean, he could take it and like let it take a strike, but Bo Bichette needs to learn to hit that first pitch. Right? Just like what the Jays were doing last year as a team collectively, hitting the first pitch. And Bo Bichette did that a lot as well as Vlad.
Which is so crazy for me that this is a problem for him now, because Bo Bichette is probably the biggest free swinger that we have on this ball club.
Right.
And when it just comes to an overall standpoint of like literally like contact, like baseball bat to baseball, I would argue that he's maybe even the best on the team for that.
Right.
So far this season, that has not been the case at all.
I think he needs to get his timing back.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like, because we're
not even remotely close to the timing that we need to be at.
The timing doesn't look there, and what he needs is that hot stretch where he is attacking those first pitches, and then the pitchers go, okay, he's coming after us. He's hot.
Yeah.
He's like 12 for 15 this week.
Yes.
Like, he's destroying first with fastballs. You know what he gets there? He buys himself a slider away for the first pitch.
And then he's going to need to adjust again to work himself into those hitter-friendly counts because, right now, they're giving him the Kevin Biggio treatment.
Yeah, they are.
The Kevin Biggio treatment, guys, is we're throwing you strikes off the top, and then Bo Bichette just can't seem to catch up to them, can't seem to hit them.
Yeah.
And then they throw him the off-speed change-up stuff outside the zone, and he swings out of his ass. He's totally striking out on 3-4 pitches, which just cannot be happening.
Yeah.
219 batting average right now, OPS that's in the garbage can, basically. At what point do we need to, like, move him down the lineup? At what point do we need to really evaluate this? When do we need to start being worried about the whole season? I'm not worried about Bo Bichette as a long-term player or anything like that. I want to put that out there. I still think he's going to be an incredible MLB stud.
Yeah.
But at what point do we need to, like, change something up here?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say first things first, what I want to see is I want to see him get benched. I want to see a day off. Like, there has to be a day off, and you have to tell Bo Bichette, like, this is why we're doing it. Like, and I think Bo would expect it coming.
Yeah.
He's expecting it to come. To move him down the lineup now, Charlie Montoya loves his lineup, and he very rarely was shifted a lot. Kind of like the New York Yankees, he rarely does that.
Yeah.
If he moves you, he's moving you for a purpose, and this would be a purpose. Vlad doesn't move, right? There's an opportunity for Bo to go back to that 4 spot.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity to him move down, but we need someone who deserves a spot to go into the 2 spot.
Yes.
So who would that be?
Tough to say right now, man. Tough to say. I know that there were a few people talking about Tapia potentially going up there just because he is so good with the run, like running the base pass and everything. Granted, I mean, like the contact and the on base still does have some stuff left to be desired.
Right.
I know that there's been some talks about Espinal, and I could see that happening if Espinal, continues to do well. Granted, I really like him in the bottom of the lineup because then in those like 7, 8, 9 innings where we get those guys, we actually have a legitimate shot to score some runs. He's come up very clutch down there for us recently and won us some ball games almost single-handedly. Who would go there? I don't know.
Yeah, me personally, probably Tapia. He has experience at the top of the lineup. He's batted leadoff when George wasn't like in the lineup in this week. I would say Tapia, number 2. I feel like that'd be an easy slot.
It was so easy when we had Semien.
It was so easy.
We just knew it immediately. It was Marcus Semien.
Yep. Chapman being Semien's quote-unquote replacement doesn't feel like a 2 guy.
I don't want him in the 2 spot.
I don't want him in the 2 spot.
I don't think.
No, I like him in the 6 spot.
Yeah, I like it over
It's
there.
a good home for him.
Yes, absolutely.
Tapia, that's the guy. Help out Bo Bichette. Hopefully better in the 4 spot.
Yeah.
But first of all, I want to see him not in the lineup.
Yeah, and just one more mildly scary statistic for all of you guys is I was looking back at his entire career. This will be, and there are still a few days left, but if the numbers remain the same, this will be by far his worst month of his career ever. So yeah, that's I know that a lot of us were saying like, oh well, he's done this before. He's never actually been this bad to start off.